Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. So recently we did a Q&A where we asked you guys should we make a content in English or Hindi, and here are the results. So from now onwards our future videos will be in English, and now we will move to the video topic, which is how to make a smooth camera movements in After Effects. As I see, many of the editors are learning new editing style without learning basics such as camera movements. In this video, we'll teach you how to make a smooth camera movements, and we'll talk about how to play with graphs and null objects. So let's move into the video. Okay, so first we will learn about graph and then we will move towards the camera movement. So I'll explain you how graph works. First, we will make a circle. We'll align it to center. Okay, so basically, like if you want this circle to come from left towards the right, for that we will drag this towards the left like this, and now we will press F9, and this entry will call like starting graph. We can also set the entry graph. For that you can copy my graph, drag this and move towards the top. Yeah, so this is our entry graph. You can see the graph. Let me select. Okay, so you can see this graph starts fast and ends slow. Okay, so this is why it's called entry graph. Start fast and ends super slow, so it's look smooth. Yeah, so that's the reason. Okay, so let's say like we want this circle to go towards the right and leave this composition, leave the screen. For example, we'll drag it towards the right. So yeah, you can see our circle is moving right. So this movement, if we call this an exit movement, for that we will use an exit graph. The exit graph will be simply the same as the starting graph, but at this time this will start slow and goes fast. You can see start slows and this goes fast. Yeah, like this. So this is how you can simply exit something from the frame smoothly. For that you will use exit graph. And now let's say, for example, duplicate this, delete this layer, delete this layer, and close this. And like for example, say this is our circle and we want this circle to like move towards the right. For that we will use this keyframe and we will move it towards the right. You can see this is our on-screen animation. Like our circle is not like going out of the frame, we want this on screen. So for that type of animation we'll use our middle graph, because our circle is not going out of our frame and it remains stay in our frame. For that we will use our middle graph. For that we will drag this handle and change this position to 80, and we'll drag this and change it to 80. So you can see start slows, move fast, and then slows. So this is called a middle graph because nothing is going out of our frame, so it's remain in the frame. So that's why it's called a middle graph. You can see start slows, fast, and then slow. So this is how you can do a smooth movement, like if you are not moving something out of your frame. So yeah, you can use this graph. And yeah, that's it. There are 3 type of graph you can use in your animations to make them look smooth. So let's move into our camera movement. And now we'll type our first text and we will align it to center. Yep, like this. And now we'll duplicate this and we will type another text. Okay, and now again we will align it to center and we'll make this tool layer 3D, and we will select this professional text and we will drag this forward because we want some 3D look. So that's why we are dragging out. Let me open this 2 views. So yeah, here you can see the gap between this text and this professional text. Like there's a huge gap between them. So that's why like our animation will look some kind of 3D. So we'll drag it forward. Yeah, we'll drag it forward. And now we will create a camera. Okay, perfect. And now we'll press P for position. And at the beginning we will add a zoom in effect. Press F9 and you can copy my graph. Yeah, like this. We will make it faster. And now we will create a null object for smooth animation. The reason behind is that, like, if we duplicate this camera, so you can see there are two camera in one composition, and that's the only reason like we can't make a smooth animation with two cameras. So we have to create a null object like to control some extra movement. So that's why we'll create a null object and we will link this null and make this null 3D. Yep, like this. At this point we will make a keyframe on this null object and we will drag it, like we will zoom it out more. So yeah, you can see the text over here. So like you can see the gap between these two texts. So that's the reason we are getting some smooth camera movement. So we'll align it to center like this. We'll zoom out more. Okay, perfect. And now for like this movement we will select this graph, yeah, cube graph. So if I show you, so like this is called a middle graph basically. So the keyframe amount will be like 80. Yep, like 80, and this one should be also 80. Yep, like this. So let's see the movement again. I guess it's too slow, so we will make it faster. So let's see now. Yep, that's one so smooth. So like you can see, it's our first movement and it's our second movement. So this is the advantage of creating null object. We can get some smooth animation. You can see the keyframe are overlapping. Yep, that's one. So that's why we are getting some good smooth animation due to help of null objects. So that's why null objects are very important if you want to create some 3D stuff. Yep, that's it. We'll make it faster. Yep, like this. And now we'll make another layer and we will delete this. And first we will duplicate this text and we'll type over another text. Okay. And now we will open two views again and open this top one. And now we will drag it more forward. Yep, we will drag it forward to the right and more forward. Okay. And now we will add some animation on this text also. So at this point we'll set this keyframe over here and we will again first we'll link this null object and we will again zoom out like this and we will again align this to center. Okay, perfect. And now we'll select this again and we'll also we'll again apply this a graph. So let's see now. Okay, perfect. So like you can see how buttery smooth is that because of this null object. So like you can also use this null objects, like it's super helpful to make some smooth animation like this. Perfect. Yeah, so like you can see before ending the first animation our new animation is just started. So like yeah, that's how you can create some smooth animations. Okay, and now we will again duplicate this and we will delete this and again we'll type a text, duplicate this text and we'll type follow for more. Okay, perfect. And now we'll open two views and now we want like a zoom in effect. So for that we will select this and we will drag it backward. You have something like that over there. Perfect. So you can see this video editor text and it's a follow for more text. So like you can see the gap between them. And now we'll like scale this down, scale it down Okay, perfect. And now we will create a camera movement. We'll link this null object and we will like zoom in. So like you can see the depth between this. Everything is like 3D because of the gap between each text. So like we'll zoom in. Yep, like this. And we will align this to center again. Okay, perfect. Again, we will add the same graph. Like it's basically called a middle graph. Perfect. So like you can see how smooth is that. Like you can see. Like you can see the one thing. Like this video is not like stopping at a time. Like it's a smoothly running. Like you can see this animation and our new animation comes in and our second animation, like third animation and our fourth animation comes in. So like videos is running like smooth like this. And now we'll add some, you know, focus, like which will like type of blur on the text. For that we will open this camera setting, open this camera option, and make sure to open this depth of field. So yeah, we have to like do some adjustment. We'll make a keyframe on focus and aperture, yeah, and maybe blur level. Okay, so at this point, yeah, at this point we want some blur, so we'll increase this aperture, like blur level. Yeah, you can see the blur starts in and fades out. And now at this point we want a blur on this text, like I am the text. For that we will increase the aperture. So you can see our both texts are blurred. So like it gives a focus on one sentence at a time, like one word at a time. So yeah. So yeah, you can see how cool it's looking. This text goes blur and the all focus is on this text. Perfect. And now you can see this text goes blur and all focus is on this text, video editor text. I want some more blur at this point. We will again increase the aperture and set a focus. Perfect. Increase the blur level. Perfect. And now you can see we want to remove the blur at that time. For that we will decrease the aperture over there. Yeah, so you can see how cool and like how smooth 3D is looking. So yeah, have a look. So this is how you can create a smooth 3D camera movement. And now let's jump into our next scene. And now we are going to create this scene. For that we'll just simply need one background like this, and we'll scale it up. And now we'll need a PNG picture of a man. Like you can just simply crop it out from the Photoshop. I've already done that. And now we'll make this 2-layer 3D. Okay, so now the main thing start. If you want some like cool 3D look that Magnet Media have, for that you have to give a space, like gap between the subject and the background. So like you can see a gap between a subject and a background. We'll just simply drag it out more. Yep, like this. And now we'll scale it down and fit it into a frame. Okay, perfect. Yep, like this. I guess scale it up a little bit. Okay, perfect. And now I will create a camera. And now you see a magic over there. We'll scale it down like this. And now you can see, yeah, some cool 3D movement. And like for example, I show you, if I don't give a gap between the subject and a background, So it's basically look like this. Scale this up and scale it up like this. And now you can see there is no gap between the subject and background. So this is how movement looks like. So you can see how stiff and like how rough it's looking. So yeah, that's why we give a gap between subject and object. Yeah, so let's continue this. We'll zoom in this, drag it up like this, and at the beginning we will copy this graph. It's too slow. Yep, like this. You can see how smooth it's looking. Okay, perfect. And now to like smoothly smoothly blend another image in this animation, so like going from scene 1 to scene 2. For that, again, we'll simply use a null object for like smooth camera movements. We'll make this layer 3D, and first we'll add a motion tile in the background. I'll tell you why. Because you can see the background is empty over there, and like we want a full background. For that, we will use a motion tile and change its output height to 3 and this one is also 3. Yep, like this. So you can see we got a full screen background. And now we'll select this 2 keyframes and again copy this graph. Yep, you can see like how smooth the movement is going. Yep, like this. At this point, like when the cameras move, yep, at this point we want another animations to comes in. For that, we will add our second background and image. Yep, this is our second background. Scale it up, make this layer 3D, and now we want to copy the position of this character and we'll paste it on this background. Okay, perfect. Now scale it down and we will fit this into a composition. And now we'll make this character 3D and we'll copy its position. Okay, perfect. And again, we want to give a gap between subject and object. For that, we will open 2 views. Open this top one, select this and drag this forward like this. So you can see this is our background and this is our character. Perfect. Now we will scale it down. First we'll make it to fit. Yeah, scale it down like this. And at this point, first we'll add motion tile on this background. We'll select the motion tile, copy my setting. Okay, perfect. So at this point, when the movement start, we want to add some opacity animation. For that, we will make this opacity to 0 at the beginning. So you can see like how smooth it's going. Yeah, how smooth like one frame changes into another. Yeah, perfect. And now we will just simply tweak this position. Yep, like this. Move this character. Okay, perfect. We will add some more position and select the background and bring it over here. Yep. So yeah, this is how you can create some like 3D animation. So yeah, this is how you can create a 3D animations like magnet media by the use of 3D camera. So yeah, that's looking so good. So you can see how good this one frames blend into another, and our animation continues smoothly. So yeah, this is how you can create a smooth animations like magnet media. I hope you guys learned something new from this video. If you do, so make sure to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.